every time I race here, it seems to always deliver. And by deliver, I mean just really good action. So we're starting P2 here, and this race is 15 minutes long, and it's a wet start with a mandatory medium and a soft tire use. And strategy is going to really come into play here, as we're going to get bump drafted straight off the line. That RCF is quicker, so we're just going to get bump drafted, which is really nice. And the R8 in the lead, this was a good battle. It just was, as we go on the outside. I didn't think I was going to take the lead, but honestly, I don't know where to brake, so I kind of brake really safe, and I make a really dumb mistake, and kind of turn in when someone's there. To be fair, he did tell me he really overshot his brakes, but I shouldn't really be turning in when someone's there. But anyways, we're going to go into the infield here, and I'm trying something new here, as the camera should cut to third person. I don't know, is it something that would be cool to have a third person view from the replay? I don't know. I think one of the most annoying things of this is that you lose the timing. Like the gaps on the left, the game doesn't really record that, it only records your laps on the right, but not the gap difference. Anyways, first lap through this infield, we're honestly just following each other. No argy-bargy yet. But god, that camera shot really does look good, huh? Kind of makes me want to just use it from now on. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, as we come down to the hairpin on the final part of the lap, where everyone usually just sends it up the inside, because, you know, why not? As we're going to come in, pretty normal, but something's going to happen to the car behind me, in the Lexus. As coming onto this kink to the left, it's just going to really lose traction and nearly hit the wall, and that pretty much cuts them adrift from me and this R8. That's it. They've completely lost the tow. Me and this R8 are just so much quicker, and the only thing that's keeping the cars behind within range is the tow. As you see, they're already 2 seconds behind. It's just me and this R8, as now I really want to solidify just me and this R8 as I just bump drafted. And looking on the bottom left, you'll see the moisture meter. And this was really surprising because the rain stopped pretty much halfway into the last lap, and it's slowly getting into dry territory. Like right now, it's getting pretty close to slicks. However, if you go off the line, you're going to be completely screwed and hit the wall, barrier penalty, damage, and you're done. So this race between me and this R8 felt like a race of risks, as we're just gonna follow him here. I'm not gonna really try and overtake him here. That'd be a really, really dumb move that a lot of people make, and it just slows everybody down. To take that chicane really, really horribly, I don't know, I just can't take it really well. But yeah, we're just gonna sit behind him. I don't want to be right behind him to the point where if he brakes, I can't react. And he's lagging a bit, but we're good. This is why we stay back a little bit. And that moisture meter, again, it's slowly ticking down slicks. Technically right now it can use slicks. So this is a risk I want to take going at the end of this lap. I want to go in for my slick tires. And this R8, I don't know, I think it's going to make a mistake of some sort. Goes really wide here as I take the lead. So now I'm in the lead. And these gaps, so just say 3/10. Yeah, 3/10, less than 3/10 behind me now. So I'm going to take a really big risk here and try to increase that gap even more. So I'm just going to stay in the middle here, and we're going to juke left last second into the pit lane. So now he has to go around on the inters, and I'm the only one in the entire race doing this. So this is a risk. It is risky because the dry line is still quite thin. As we speed up the footage to get out of the pit lane. Yeah, so you can see the dry line, and it's definitely slicks. The dry line is slicks, but again, it's going offline and really hurt here. but I'm gonna take the risk. But you'll see, because of the yellow flag, someone spun it from that main group, and there he is. So now I'm kind of tiptoeing around the track a little bit, and now I have to deal with traffic. So this, if I gain time, it's not going to be as much as I think it's going to be. So we're coming through this middle section, and I've got the bloody hiccups again. For God's sake, it's the 4th time. Ooh. As we're going to catch this RCF. I'm pretty sure it's an RCF. I think it's an RCF. Yeah. We're going to catch this RCF right about now. And now I'm thinking this is pretty bad. But I can see I got to really lift, but they move off the line and brake early. Yeah, they brake early. And right now, these 2 corners, the one right there and this one, I tend to really go offline because, I don't know, they seem really, really close. As we fast forward to the pit lane, and we got to switch back to 3rd person. We're going to park out the pits right there. They're not in contention, but more importantly, the R8 on our left. We just catch him out of the pit lane, and we're both in the same strategy here. We're both on medium tires. As we pass him, and we go to the normal view again. I've only gained 8 tenths. Not as much as I thought it would be with that risk, but we take it. Something which I thought I probably should have done was probably taking the fuel in that stop. But in the flat 4, I'm going to switch to the soft tires because you have to use medium and softs. And that R8 is kind of trailing me. And we're going to go in, we're going to change for our softs. And this is where I thought maybe I should have stayed out one more lap, because taking the fuel is so long that you're better off saving fuel so you don't go in the pit lane and just take fuel. It takes so long. Like, this is crazy. I think it's like 2 liters a second. So now we're on 59. And now I have to push, but also I'm still not safe. The laps remaining says 4.1, but with a faster tire, you're going to be burning more fuel because you're going quicker. And I think I'm going to start full revving the car out at some point for a lap, my fastest lap, I think, to try and catch it. But that R8's going to pit at the end of lap 5 as we skip forward again. You can see there, he's on 39 fuel as he leaves, and he hasn't put any fuel in, so he's chosen the fuel saving route instead of just putting fuel in. And I've got 44, so that's 5% different. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. But a problem, because he hasn't put the fuel in, by the time we reach the end of this straight, remember he was 1.3-ish coming in, or was it 1 second when I went in? Something around the 1 second mark. He's gained 3 seconds. He's gone up to 3 seconds, so he's gaining about 2 seconds in the pit lane. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when the person you're going up against pretty much has the same pace as you. Because you don't just miraculously gain 3 seconds pace alone. So we're going to speed it up, and you'll see all the guys ahead of us will eventually come in. Remember, they're not important, they're not part of this battle. But you can see I'm getting purples. I'm pretty much full revving the car out, trying to get this gap down. As we go through the final hairpin. And funny enough, it's something funny. Like I said before, it was a mandatory medium and soft. But you see this guy in front of me, he's in a GTR, spotting Mac Dixon as we set the fastest lap. He's still on his inters. He didn't really catch the fact that you had to do a mandatory slick change, so he's just sitting on burnt intermediates, trying desperately to cool them off, which is really funny. As we're going on to lap 7 with the clock, and we've gained a little on him, but trying to pass this GTR makes me kind of lose all that time I gain. But remember, with that guy only having 5% less fuel than me, this is where it's going to count. So I realized only the really fast players are going to make it onto the final lap, which is lap 8. So now, I was pushing hard to try and get into this window for a chance to try and get him. As the clock winds down, 4, 3, 2. We make it with 2 seconds to spare, so we're in it to win it. I'm looking at that fuel, 0.8, so I don't have enough fuel to make it to the end here, even though I had more fuel, but he's got even less. So you'll see that the gap start rolling down, basically, and this is where I realized I need to do at least a little bit of fuel saving. So I put it on Fuel Mix 3 with some short shifting. And he's probably doing it as well, but even probably more dire, so maybe shifting 20% of the rev gauge and maybe putting on Fuel Mix 5 or something, I don't know. But we're both now saving fuel because we both know we're both going to chuck on Fuel Mix 1 down that final corner and just hope the fuel works out, basically. So you're seeing now the gap is falling pretty quick. This is where the strategy of me going in and just filling up the tank instead of fuel saving and not putting any fuel at the stops really comes in. And I was really banking on this. I was really hoping this would happen. And this is kind of like the Bathurst multi-class race that I had about 4 weeks ago or a month ago. It's a really good race. You should probably watch it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyways, so as the gap falls down to under a second now, so I'm coming in with a chance. I just need to nail this final corner and I've got a chance. But I don't. I kind of lose rear grip a little bit and I had to correct this oversteer. And the gap goes up, but that's it. I just got to hope he runs out. So I'm just in my head, run out. Run out. It's like Jeremy Clarkson in that Ukraine special. Run out now. And he does, right now. So we got a little bit of fuel. And I run out just as I pass him, and we just hit him on the line with a 1/10 difference. That's all it takes. It's so close. And it was a really good race. And it shows just the effect of taking risks and how good this track is, really, for producing races. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.